Time never waits, and why should you? Unlimited Watch is here to serve our listeners that are watch aficionados and that truly enjoy wearing the crown of timepieces. A Rolex owner is an outdoorsman or woman with impeccable taste in quality and craftsmanship. They are going to choose the finest in fishing gear, and they choose to take that shot of a lifetime at that trophy buck in the crosshairs with top-of-the-line optics mounted on the highest of quality in firearms. Why should time be any different? If you are looking for that specific Rolex and tired of hearing that it's going to be over a year before your local jeweler will have it in inventory, in most cases, they will have your order processed and on the way in 48 hours. You should trust your time to Unlimited Watch. Offering the most modern in the Rolex line of watches, as well as the timeless classics that you just can't seem to find at the jeweler up the street, their team of experts are always working to keep their customers satisfied and keeping the freshest in inventory for their customers. Their genuine and certified Rolex inventory is changing daily, and the best way to keep up with finding your next Rolex is at www.unlimited-watch.com. Don't let time slip away. Reach out to Unlimited Watch and schedule an appointment today.
Michelob Ultra and Myrtle Beach wholesaler Southern Crown Partners Incorporated know our consumers enjoy relaxing days on the water with Mich Ultra's crisp and refreshing taste in hand. It's important to remember to drink and boat responsibly. Choose to be or to designate a sober skipper before leaving the dock. Do it for your family and friends, your passengers, and everyone else on board. Michelob Ultra salutes all sober skippers who take the pledge. Cheers, and we'll see you on the water.
In Myrtle Beach, you always go at your own pace. Lie out on the sand, lie out by the pool, go boogie boarding, go surfing, walk the boardwalk, walk the marsh walk, golf at one of 90 golf courses, mini golf at one of 50 mini golf courses, fish off a pier, fish from a chartered boat, go shopping, get drinks, eat the freshest seafood. The list is exhaustive, but the experience isn't. You can go all out or do nothing at all. How you relax is up to you. There is so much to do and explore, whether you're traveling with friends, family, or just yourself. With 60 miles of beach, you're going to find your place. If this sounds like what you need, then this is where you belong.
Well, hello everyone. I am Captain E, Inglis Glover from Trilogy Outdoors Media. It is my pleasure to introduce our newest podcast. That would be the HOA Life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'll tell you, Steve Goldfinch hit a home run when he came up with this idea, and it's been my pleasure to sit in and not only be one of the hosts of it, but to produce and work behind the scenes on it as well. Lots of great topics. You know, when it comes to HOAs, I'm sure a lot of people have different emotions. A lot of people are for, a lot of people are against, and I'm just going to give you my personal opinion. You know, I really could do without them. I'm not the biggest fan. They're not the biggest fan of mine either, especially the one I live in. However, I think they really serve a great purpose, and I think if you're a property owner that lives in an HOA, you probably should appreciate it to a degree. Think about what it could look like without one. Well, our guests this year on the show and going forward are experts that have everything to do with HOAs, from, you know, services that HOAs can provide to their members, as well as lawyers. Miss Alicia Thompson will be joining us, one of the best HOA lawyers out there, who is local here and a good friend of ours, and she will be joining us quite often on the show. We're going to have a great time. Steve hit a home run with this, and it's our pleasure at Trilogy Outdoors Media to be partners in producing this. So, without further ado, HOA Life, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
The HOA and the covenants running things round here. All the way from Carolina Forest out to Collins Creek. Can't park that car on the road, baby.
All right, folks. Hey, you know, I do like talking to outdoors, hunting, fishing normally, and everything else, but man, do I look forward to my breaks every now and then to talk about the HOA, the wonderful life that we all live in those incredible neighborhoods here along the Grand Strand and beyond, because, Mr. Steve, despite the fact that we want to, we are worldwide now.
We are
You know that,
worldwide.
right? So we can't just always talk about the Grand Strand.
And we're bringing the intellectual side into these podcasts. So this is where the brains come into.
Well, you just lost me.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm on this side of the table. I'm glad I'm over on this side of the table, but it has been too long, my friend, and I hope that Miss Jill's doing wonderful.
She is, and I'm glad to be in the room with you, English. I tell you what, we've had a tough time over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and for those of you that don't know, our Carolina Forest area of Myrtle Beach has been under terrible duress with a forest fire edging up against multiple neighborhoods, and there's lots of questions that we're going to have today on that and how we can recover from some of that and help HOAs, and we may bring about information that they haven't even thought to ask about. Also, some of our friends in Georgetown had some experiences down there near
Prince George, right?
Prince George.
Yeah.
And so we've got the forest fires on the mind today. We've got a lot of utility questions about utility and paving.
Speaking of utilities,
Yep.
so my son, Russ, the one and only,
Russ.
he is the neighborhood celebrity last week
Yep.
because he went through and he picked up all of the wonderful flags that were left in our HOA after somebody utilized their, you explain it, their easement, correct?
That's correct.
To come in and interrupt our coverage from our wonderful friends that we have visiting us today, and that's the truth. This is just kind of playing in good, but remember, I reached out to you. As soon as they showed up, started digging up our yards. I was like, hey, wait a minute now, dude. Like, what's going on here? And then there were neighbors that were saying, oh, the HOA board is all getting free cable from Spectrum now after this.
We know that's not true.
And we know that's,
We know
not,
that's
true.
not true. They're good, hardworking volunteers that are trying to make sure that the neighborhood is taken care of.
Wait a
But
minute.
there are certain
Wait a minute.
things
Hang on. Hang on one second. Keep going.
But there are certain things that we need to make sure they know about, and there's certain items that
You're right. You're right.
Okay, so you need to
But
tell
Russ
who's in
picked
the
up
room.
all the flags.
You need to talk about who's in the room
Well,
today. We got
hey,
some
let's introduce them.
VIPs.
We do have some VIPs, and better known as the one of the best bass fishermen in our area for sure. Chris Jones, introduce yourself, Chris, and who are you with there?
Yeah.
Coastal Asphalt, I believe. But
That's correct.
tell everybody.
I'm Chris Jones from Conway, South Carolina. I'm here representing Coastal Asphalt today. Thank you for the plug on the bass fishing, English. I do love bass fishing. I tell everybody I work Monday through Friday so I can fish on the weekend. So
And he's Chris Jones from Conway, South Carolina.
I know he is. If you can't tell,
If you
and by the
can't
way,
tell.
his son is still the president, or is he done?
So he graduated Coastal last spring.
Congrats.
So he's not at Coastal now, but he was the president for their bass fishing team at Coastal Carolina, as I am actually the president for the South Carolina Bass Nation for the whole state.
That's
So,
right.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep.
So
giving back to a sport that's done so much for you.
There's a Bass Nation.
There is.
Oh, I'm learning.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
so,
learning.
So South Carolina, not to get too
no,
far
I
off
didn't.
track.
I didn't want you to go any further.
I was just going to say, South Carolina had.
I was being facetious, Chris.
Chris.
Just stop right there. We don't. This guy talks fishing 24 hours a day. Please don't get him started.
Yes,
We're talking HOAs today.
Hey,
Okay.
his son on Friday last week had no idea Davey Height, and honestly, like other than the fact that he did help appoint him to DNR board for state, which is great for
Yes.
bass fishermen and
Yes.
for fishermen and everything, but he didn't know anything about Davey's past, like Hall of Fame member and all that. So it was so much fun to do the podcast and to hear Steven's questions.
Yeah.
And me and Geddes or Brandon are listening. I'm like, oh my gosh, but. We're not here to talk bass fishing.
No.
Unless we're going to fish in the HOA pond, which, by the way, be careful, folks.
No, you can't fish in the HOA pond. Liability is too great.
As you can tell, one of us adheres to the HOA rules and one of us doesn't.
Well, one of us needs to. All of us should.
I'm getting better.
All of us should. Etzel, talk to me. Who are you?
Etzel, save us.
I'm Etzel Edge. I'm here with HTC. We're a local telecommunications company. Been around since 1952. Not me, the company, of course.
Of course you haven't been
We
around.
are a full-service provider for residential and commercial stuff. We got telephone service, video products, and of course, internet, which is what makes the world spin these days. And we can get you anything you need.
And what does HTC stand for?
HTC stands for Horry Telephone Cooperative, which is how we first started in 1952. Yep. Now we typically goes by HTC because telephone is somewhat of a dying breed in our business. Yep. Internet is basically what makes it spin.
Yeah, and you know what? This is life. Connect with it.
Amen.
Yeah, there you go.
HTC.
I'll be sending them an invoice for that one, partner.
Also here to connect. That's our new tag.
That's your new one. You got rid of my girl. She was flying in from California.
Yes,
I know
sir.
the whole story about her.
Yes,
I know
sir.
a lot because I actually used to promote HTC on my TV show.
And we appreciate that,
yes.
Can you let these fellas introduce themselves, please?
Yeah, we
Hush
are.
for a while.
I'm trying to
Let's
find my
go.
wire. I lost one of my cables.
I see you looking for your wire. Go
I'm
for
good.
it.
All right. Well, my name's Alvin Jones, and I'm also with HTC. Haven't been around quite as long as Edsel here, but hey, it's been a good process, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's good to have you on board, Alvin, and I can tell that you probably don't get to talk much around that. So anyway, do you?
Oh no, me and Edsel talk every day. That's my guy. No?
Hey, Alvin's got a voice for radio.
He does
You
have
hear
a
that?
great voice.
Oh,
I'm
my
actually,
God.
I'm going to grab a piece of paper and start writing some ads
Stick to the
down.
radio.
We might need to get some commercials going with this guy. Listen to that voice. Good for you, Alvin.
Where you from?
Appreciate it. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Ben Lippen High School, and then I went to Winthrop University up in Rock Hills.
Oh, wonderful.
Winthrop.
Eagle, right? War Eagle? Or,
That's correct.
Yeah,
Eagle.
War Eagle. I had a scholarship there, offer for voice.
And don't start on athletics either.
voice.
Okay, no fishing, no athletics.
No, it wasn't for golf. I had golf scholarships,
Okay.
the Citadel,
For
and
voice.
Francis Marion.
For singing?
For singing. Yes, I was actually, 2 years, I was number one, highest scoring, don't laugh, baritone in South Carolina in the All-State
had no
Chorus.
idea.
And they hosted it at Winthrop.
I had
and
no idea.
Yes, and
Look.
honors course, South Carolina honors course, and I got an offer to go because your show choir or whatever was huge back then, real big. But yes, I
Did
chose
more than me.
I chose golf. I chose golf, and I chose to enjoy 4 freshman years. That's why I'm sitting behind here, running the microphone, and y'all are all over there with logos on your shirt. So, but
Great
anyway.
news. So let's get back to the important stuff. So seriously, nice to meet you guys. Glad you're here. We're excited to have you
Yeah,
here.
we appreciate the opportunity, Steve.
Yeah, man. So what's on my mind, of course, is that fire in Carolina Forest and all the people I've been through and those heroic firefighters that have been on the line. I sat there and watched them with no water in their hoses, fighting fire, and I was actually had fire go over the top of my truck. It brought me back to the old firefighting days with Conway Fire Department. But one of the things I just wanted to bring into this was thank you to those heroes, those first responders. I had a county policeman standing beside me with a water hose from somebody's backyard, and we were putting out spot fires together. And it was amazing what they were willing to do and what they do every day. So thank you to the first responders. Thank you to the neighbors in Carolina Forest, Walker's Woods, Reserve at Walker's Woods, Covington, and all the places that were able to bring about a neighborhood feeling and supporting those first responders. I saw more coffee and more food being brought out of front doors to those first responders. What a great thing to see in America today I really needed to see that. Sometimes on 501, Highway 501, and sometimes on some of the other trips that I make, I see a little bit of meanness in this world. And to see kindness and people hugging necks and appreciating each other, what a great thing. But how does that specifically, and one thing when you said Horry Telephone, do you operate only in Horry?
No, not anymore. We have our fiber facilities in Horry and Georgetown County.
Yep.
Branching out into Marion County now as well.
Yep.
We don't have Marion blanketed. We don't have Georgetown blanketed yet either, but more populated areas in Georgetown we do.
Anything north? No.
We can't cross the state line.
Got it.
We got to stay inside the state, which is fine.
Okay,
We
good.
don't want to talk those Yankee states up there. We're good.
We love Yankees. We know that they're about 75% of our customer base, and so
We love them too.
we love you guys, and we're proud to have you down here in the South, and we're proud to have you as being part of our community and neighborhood. So thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, Alvin, maybe you should talk the rest of the time. That's just great. That's perfect. All right, so in respect, let's go deep into the forest fire right now. Did you have any damage from the fires?
Not that I'm aware of, Steve. our facilities handled pretty well. Of course, most of our stuff is buried anyway.
Yeah.
We do have some overhead in some of our municipalities, but
Yeah.
most of the areas at Carolina Forest is underground.
No pedestals burned up or anything.
Not that
you
we,
know
not,
of.
not that I've heard.
No, oh,
But
great.
they typically don't bury them in the woods anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I hear
We
you.
stay out in the right of ways.
Yeah.
So.
Good. Well, we had some right-of-ways burning, but I
Yeah.
think we're good. And Chris, have you been contacted yet about any road damage?
No road damage that we've been made aware of, no, sir.
So I know road damage is a big concern. Curb damage. Do you do curbs or just roads?
We do.
Okay.
So we do some concrete work, but mainly, any asphalt repairs.
So I've seen bulldozers egressing over curbs for the last 3 weeks, and I know there's a lot of curb damage out there. So I assume that there'll be some contact for you guys in the near future. So you do curbing, you do paving, you do resealing, and now when you've got some asphalt that's chewed up with tracks off of a bulldozer, what do you do?
So depending on how severe it is, and how new the asphalt is, also it may be able to be repaired. Typically, if it's really bad shape, it needs to be just demoed and removed and replaced.
Okay, but it can be repaired.
Depending on the age of the asphalt. If it's fairly new asphalt and it's still pliable to some degree where we can heat it and re-roll it and everything, we may be able to fix it. But again, it just depends on how old the asphalt is. If it's something that's 10 years old and it's really cracked and broken, then no, it's going to be a replace situation.
Gotcha. And is that remilling in place or is that just replaced?
And it also depends on the size area. If it's just the width of a track or something, it would be almost like treating it like a pothole. We would saw cut it and pull it out and just repatch it in a sense.
Good. Excellent. Okay.
If it's a long stretch of highway, then yes, you would just mill off a certain thickness and repave it.
So you've got a homeowners association board member that's driving, and he's been tasked by the board to go out and find these paths that have been cut and these curbs that have been broken. What does he do next?
Yeah, so they can get the HOA president or their property management company to reach out to us.
Yep.
They will. So typically, that's what I handle. So I do mostly all HOA work. Our company does DOT work and everything as well, but I handle private communities and HOAs, and some small residential businesses. But so yeah, they would reach out to us. I'll schedule an appointment to come out and walk with them, look at their problem,
Right.
and then give them a couple of different options if there's more than one option available to see what fits into their budget, what they can afford to fix.
So you'll create a scope of work for them free of charge?
100%.
Okay, good. And then once you've done the ride around the scope of work, you'll go back and do the work on a time frame. And how do you communicate that to the neighborhood that you're doing the work?
So depending on the size project, if it's a multi-day project, we do a bunch of different things. We send out a homeowner letter if we're dealing with an HOA, to a property management company. I will send them a homeowner letter that will give all the information of what the residents can expect. And then again, if it's a multi-day project, a lot of times we'll take some signs in, just like a real estate sign that has a QR code on it, and then we will put that up around universal places like mail kiosk, the amenity centers, the entrances and exits. So that way that QR code, they can scan it, and they'll have a map for any phasing that's required. That same homeowner letter is on there because not everybody checks their email that when the property management company sends that out. Yep. But everybody is accustomed to using their phone and scanning that QR code, and that saves a bunch of phone calls for property management and people that's on the board in the HOA. It saves them some headache from having to answer questions late at night and things like that.
Sure. So that QR code is visible from the doorway of the car or truck. You don't have to get out.
Don't have to get out. You can, again, we try to put it in an area where you're not having to drive by. So, again, if it's a mail kiosk or at the amenity center, someplace is visible that they can pull over and to get within a certain distance of it with your phone. Yeah. Anybody that's got a newer iPhone or phone, it'll pull right up. And then you just click on the way ours is set up. So it may be multiple communities on there at one time. So they can go and click the name of their community. You mentioned Walker Woods. Yep. They can pull that up, and everything that's happening in that community during that week or, again, however long the project is going to last.
Good. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we know that that's going to affect their finances within the association. I'm sure that. Have you ever heard of that being covered under insurance? I've never heard of it.
I can't say that I have.
That kind of damage.
I wouldn't think so.
Natural disaster. Okay, very good. That's interesting.
I'm amazed that you guys had no damage at all.
Yeah, if we had any, I've not heard of any, and we would have heard of it by now.
And I mean, let's jump on I guess the main thing being that everything's under the ground now too.
That's right. At least out there it is.
Right.
So is fiber more susceptible or less to fire or any natural disaster? Is it more dependable than wire?
Not necessarily more dependable as far as fire goes. Now, where fiber comes into play is we hadn't reached what it can't do from an internet standpoint, transporting data. Now, the fiber's encased in some casing, which is in some conduit, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
As far as, anything fireproof, it's not if you get some heat to it, of course.
Sure.
But the way it's buried, chances are pretty slim it's going to mess it up.
So, Alvin, what are the products y'all are producing right now that most HOAs, focusing on HOAs, what are they looking for, and how are you guys getting into that neighborhood? If you aren't brought in as the developer preferred vendor, what happens when they've already got someone in there, but the association wants to make a deal with y'all, wants to use somebody that's local and wants to give the business to local people and wants to keep that business in the hometown? How do they get to you? What do they do? What are their steps?
Okay, well, so basically they would reach out to myself. So like I said, I'm in charge of our bulk services. Perfect. So they would reach out to us, expressing that, hey, we're interested in doing some bulk services. And with bulk services, that usually means that we could normally save them, I would say 40, sometimes even 50% on what they're paying now for,
Holy cow.
Their internet or their video service they have with us. So basically, assuming that we have services or facilities in the ground now,
Yep.
That makes it a lot easier, obviously, because we already have fiber there. That's just a matter of us, hey, 80% of you guys already use us for a service, or even less. This is what's going on. We can offer you this amount of money to for each house.
Oh, wow.
And then the HOA itself receives one single bill each month. And then we go from there. Now, if we don't have facilities there and we have to build, which that happens sometimes, which is fine, we can still offer an agreement. We just have to work on how much that will cost us. We speak with the HOA and the property management company about how it's going to look once we decide to build. How it's going to look as far as, say, if it's single-family homes, how we're going to go through the road to get to each home, or if it's, an MDU or, an apartment or a condo type of place, how we're going to bring it to the building. So we got a few ways to do that.
So tell me about bringing your infrastructure into a public road environment within an HOA, and then we're going to discuss a private road environment. So take me through the public roads.
So if it's public, so it's already open and we're available just to come in, and the HOA says, yes, we want y'all here. All we need to do is, I guess, we find where we are as far as our facilities already.
Yeah.
Then the process is, if we have to go under the street, boring, things of that nature, we would kind of work with the property management and show them this is what we're going to do as far as how we're going to come into each yard. If we have to dig in certain yards, which we would have to do, but we put everything back exactly as we find it. People are going to be worried about their grass,
So you regrade and resod.
Yes. Correct. We put it back if needed.
If needed, I understand.
And so we come into the house normally a lot of times, like maybe the side of the garage. And then at that point, then we'd have another team, our installation and repair guys who actually go into the home once we get to the, getting in modems and things like that installed.
Okay, so that's public roads that are not private, they're not behind a gate, and you have the right to be there within that easement.
Correct.
It's legally the right. You don't have to have permission of the HOA or the individual homeowners.
Correct.
Okay, so once that occurs, you've decided to go in and do construction in a place. You're going to try your best to put it back and make it look as seamless as possible.
Yes.
You're not heroes, you're not Superman, but you're going to do your very best, I assume. Now, the next step, take me through. I don't understand what happens behind the gates of a private road. Take me through step 1, 2, and 3. What's first step for a board that wants to bring HTC into their neighborhood in a private road environment?
Okay, so if they say, yes, we want to do this, and we would obviously be glad to do that, we would have to get easement. So once we would secure easement.
From the county, from the state, from the homeowners board?
That'd be from the HOA or whoever's the
same people that asked you to come in.
Correct. Who owns the road, so it'll be the HOA.
Very good. Okay.
So, if they've already asked us to come, then they should be agreeable to do that.
Absolutely.
And then we get that. And once we have that, then we can come in and do what we just did for the public roads.
So the HOA board, the HOA LLC, not the association owns the road, and therefore they then own the easement. So we don't have to get permission from each individual homeowner once you have permission from the HOA.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay, very
There
good.
you go.
That's correct.
And so then from that point forward, everything's about the same.
Yes, yes. And I meant to say, too, I mean, we also do a lot of communications, and I think Chris mentioned earlier, we send out notification, especially if we're having to do construction.
Yeah.
We would usually send it to the property management, and then they would kind of email blast it so we can get it out quickly.
Sure.
What to expect with the process, basically we're adding fiber. This is what to expect step-by-step process to kind of ease people's minds, because a lot of people, as you said, their first thought is they're going to come in, they're going to mess up either our streets or my yard.
My
and
flower
we're going to
bed.
fix
Yeah,
that. So
I gotcha.
we make sure they know.
So we've talked a lot in the last few minutes about what happens physically and legally, but tell us why they should do it. I mean, where does the advantage? Where does it go? And why? How are they changing? First of all, they're getting away from. I assume if they're going to HTC, they're getting away from a global corporation that could care less about you and doesn't answer the telephone now. And now, Edsel going to ask me to hush now, but I can tell you what. We have people in our company who are actually allocated to sit on the telephone with these global companies and wait for them to answer the phone, sometimes for up to 2 or 3 hours. And so this person, they know a telephone number, and if we have a telephone number that someone will answer at one of these large companies, we actually trade it around. I've actually seen people trading food for that number to be able to get a hold of a person. So tell me how that's different. Number one, tell me how it's different on customer service, and tell me how it's different on product base.
I can answer that, Steve. We have 600 plus employees in Horry County.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's big.
And Georgetown County, of course, but our headquarters is in Conway.
Yep.
If you call up HTC, you're going to talk to somebody in Conway.
Yep.
That sounds probably like me.
Yeah.
And we pride ourselves on being available. I mean, we're here. This is what we don't care about what's going on across the world.
Sure.
This is our backyard. We live here.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the grocery store. We'll see you at church, or at the ball field. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So we're available. I mean, Alvin and his team.
Oh, yeah.
He does bulk services. Him and a couple other ladies, and you can call them direct if you need to.
Yeah.
Our property management companies, we reach out to them a lot. I'll have a lot of those reach out to me. That's assigned kind of to my group as well.
Sure.
So we're here and we're available, and we're going to do what we can here for you.
Yeah. So that's the customer service side of it.
Absolutely.
Now, what's the product difference?
Well, the product, I mean, at the end of the day, the product is basically the same. We just pride ourselves in the latest that we have.
I got you.
The fibers that we're putting in the ground right now is the best you can get.
And what are you offering? I mean, I don't even know the technology. What are you? Is speed something you like to talk about, or you don't like to talk about it? So what are you offering in speed right now? What's normal in a neighborhood in Myrtle Beach or Carolina Forest?
So, like I said, we're putting our fiber down basically over an entire footprint is our goal. Right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Edsel was saying, it's going to separate us from our competition.
Right.
As far as speed's concerned, you'd be looking at starting speeds as of today, around 500 megabits.
Yep.
But we can go up to then 750 and or up to a gig.
Yeah.
Which is the fastest we offer, and I say that today because
Is
I know
a
we're
gig
looking.
special order?
No. So anybody can get that. It's just a matter of if it's what we call symmetrical, up and down, the same speed up or down.
Yep.
But for fiber, it is. So that's what's going to separate us. That we're putting that down in most residential areas.
Got it. So it's moving fast, coming ahead.
Correct.
I tell you what, I could not believe the difference between 100 meg and 250. 250. I was excited when I got 250. So 500 must be amazing, but I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I'll take 250 any day. Take 250 any day. And so at that point when I got 250, I went out and got TVs that can actually take advantage of it, and it's amazing what we can watch on TV now. Such great stuff. So very pleased to have HTC myself personally, and
We appreciate that.
it's so nice to be able to call and talk to somebody that sounds like me.
And that's right.
It sounds like Chris.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. We can't stress that enough. I mean, we're here.
No,
when you have a
good.
hurricane here, we know it.
Yeah.
We're not in Missouri, Ohio, wherever where they don't know we had any natural disaster.
Or
Like the
China, for that matter.
fire. Yeah, or China. Like the fire. We knew there was fire going on. We can sympathize with that, and we know what's going on in this area.
Yeah. We had 7 people that are employees that were affected by it. Yeah. Just in that one neighborhood, 2 3 neighborhoods, we had 7 employees in those 3 neighborhoods. So we have a lot of people that work with us are in the same situation. Well, good news. So Chris, jumping back over to you.
Yes, sir.
So when you guys go into a neighborhood, and is it the same way with private and public?
Very similar. So, of course, with a private community, that will be invited in, so to speak, to come and look and assess their roads, whatever their problems may be,
Right.
and kind of give them, like you said before, a scope of work or a plan on what they should do.
Yep.
The other side of that is, so if it is publicly owned or owned by the county, typically we wouldn't do much repair there unless the county sends it out for a bid process.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, so typically we wouldn't do that unless it's sent out to a public bid or something along those nature. So,
Okay.
but definitely the private community, when they own their own roads, and here's the biggest thing that I find a problem with most privately owned streets is once they build the infrastructure and they start to build homes in there, the roads are kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
And outside of the expense of their home, their road is their second biggest, investment that they have is their roadways.
Yep.
And so, and it's always the first to get neglected. So it's just like, building your home, you always have to do some maintenance to it. Something needs to be painted, something needs to be repaired, or cleaned, whatever the situation is. Your roadway is the same way. So it's not a one and done. We don't pave it and forget about it for 20 plus years. It requires some maintenance there as well. So we stress that, and I see so many communities that, again, they did that paving or initial paving, and then they don't do anything for 10 or 12 years. And they wonder why their road's falling apart and why their asphalt's not in good shape. It's because they did no preventive maintenance. So it's just like a vehicle. It takes preventive maintenance. Your road, your home, everything needs some type of work done to it.
Excellent information. I was wondering if this would be really information that I could use, and it is turning out to be that way. Thank y'all. This is great for me. I know we're all going to learn from this, and we're all learning as y'all talk. Tell me something. I asked you a question when I first talked to you about this coming on the show today, and you indicated that there might be some advice that you could give to these guys or homeowners associations specifically as they prepare for an install of infrastructure or cable in that neighborhood. What advice do you have for that?
So a couple of things. So I guess the biggest thing is, when you already mentioned this, communication is key with anything that you do. Giving that HOA or that community as much heads up and notice as possible, and giving them every aspect of what the project is, not sugarcoating it, and letting them know exactly what to expect. And I found that over the years dealing with HOAs and everything is just be upfront, don't overpromise, and so that way you're not expecting something that you can or can't do.
Right.
So that's probably number one. Is just communication is always going to be key. Yeah. Another thing that we talked about before is with you guys, I know in boring this may not apply, but if we do utility cuts, and I see this not just with telephone service or fiber service, but even with electrical and water and things like that. So we get called all the time to come back and make an asphalt repair or patch for whatever the service may be. So a utility cut is made, and what does everybody do once they're done with that? They backfill that same utility cut with the material that was there, which is going to be contaminated once it's dug out. You would have some type of stone base, old asphalt, and then typically if they dig deep enough, it's going to have some dirt and grass and roots and everything else in there. So once they backfill that area, they want an asphalt patch. Well, that's the wrong thing to do, because that stuff never compacts and settles like it should to support that new asphalt. So it's always suggested that whether we price to do it, but get rid of that contaminated material and put in some new stone base and allow it to settle, whether that means a good rain or some type of compacting machine, a vibrator or some sort like that to get it compacted. And a little bit of time is sometimes the best thing for that. And then we come back and apply asphalt tack and then the new layer of asphalt, a 2 to 3 inch patch or something like that, whether it's for the driveway or across the road or whatever the situation is. So HOAs, I challenge you, if you have to have utility cuts, you make sure that whoever quotes that for you to come back and do your asphalt patch, that they're preparing the subgrade before the new asphalt patch goes in, because you won't be satisfied when it settles and you've got a dip in your road or your driveway afterwards.
Very interesting. I hadn't even thought about that.
Yep.
I mean, first thing I do out there at my farm is I put the same stuff right back in the hole.
The asphalt is only as good as its subgrade, and that goes for a patch or a paving job or anything. Your asphalt is only going to be as good as your subgrade and grading work is done.
That's interesting. That's good information. glad to have heard that one. So I hope I can get all the field dirt back and put it back at my farm. I'll just have my trailer there ready to pick it up so they can get rid of it and dispose of it.
That's
right.
right.
What I like to hear.
Yeah.
All right, so so I'm kind of curious about what y'all see at HTC, Ori Telephone Cooperative. What do you see as the future? Give me 2 years and give me 5 years. What's coming? What's different? Is it just faster, faster, faster? More data, more data, more data. Is that all it's about? Is there something more complex?
Well, the key is faster. I mean,
Yep.
what else can you do? I mean, I think I saw some figures. The average home has like 20 plus connected devices.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. You got your cell phone, you got all your TVs, you got these little vacuum cleaners, you got your refrigerators, your washing machines, your thermostats. You don't realize how much you connected to the internet. And obviously, all of them don't run at one time.
Right.
But over time, that's going to get multiple. It can be added to your cars. Some cars connect, that kind of thing. So you're going to need more capacity. Yeah. And of course, the fiber we're burying 2 years, 5 years. They hadn't found the limitations of it yet. Now, it's not to say there aren't limitations out there. They just haven't been reached, at least by the individual homeowner.
Wow. My daughter lives 1/4 mile from the Amazon hub in Cary, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And her refrigerator doors are video panels. And so there are cameras inside looking. You can touch it. When you touch the door, you can see what's inside on a video screen. And Amazon monitors that screen every 24 hours. And so they come and put, in my daughter's house, they come and put the things in her that are on her daily or weekly list back in that refrigerator by looking at the photos in the refrigerator. And that's that's the truth. That's all true.
You know, the one thing.
I'm glad you woke up. Hey,
no,
how
listen,
are you?
No, listen. I've been awake over here. Trust me, I've been awake. But I pray that my wife does not listen to this. Keep going.
I mean, number one, I don't want you in my house, and I don't care how nice you are. Number two, don't you mess with my refrigerator. It's
That is
messy right
insane.
now, and I don't want to have to put the milk back in the exact same spot every time. But, I mean, it's an amazing service, and it's all based on speed.
And connectivity. Steve.
Connectivity.
That's where we live in these.
So it's all based off that freaking refrigerator?
Yeah. It has cameras inside.
The
and
poor guy on the other end of I'm just going to tell you, okay? The poor guy on the other end of the camera in my refrigerator would absolutely go ape crap. He would be like, oh, my God, like, these people are insane. Like, why is that fish in there? Yep. Why is this in there,
Why is there a dead fish in the refrigerator?
Why is there a raccoon hide in that refrigerator? I can't replace it. Yeah, Russ would keep them on their toes.
Yeah, we're going to get it taxidermed next week.
That is awesome. Yeah, we will.
Why is there a squirrel in a pot with the fur still on it? Because I had that in my refrigerator the other day after Tripp went through the yard. Tripp has gotten a
new air pistol, that air rifle
Air
he's got.
rifle.
Hey, no hunting, no fishing.
Okay.
Chris, help me.
This is grandchildren.
Okay.
Grandchildren get an exception.
Exactly right.
My grandchildren are the best hunters and fishermen in the world.
They are.
I can talk about it all I want to.
They are. I tell you what, I had the best conversation with Tripp last week. I stopped over, and he was in the driveway, just got home from school. Renee was actually not even in the driveway, and he got out of the truck, ran inside, and comes out with this. Just absolute colossal air gun. Pellet gun. And I'm like, Tripp, come here. We got to talk about this thing, dude. Yeah. So he starts explaining to me. He's so excited. He's telling me all about it. And then he starts telling me about the squirrels and about where he's getting ready to go. And he's going to sit in the woods. He's going to sit next to a tree.
At the farm. Yeah, squirrels at the farm.
Yeah, at the farm.
Yeah. And go ahead.
At the farm.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was telling me all about what he was going to do with that thing, and that is a pretty gun. I said, I got to shoot it because I've got that same gun that shoots air bolts. Mine shoots crossbows out of it with the same air.
Oh, yeah.
487 foot per second.
This is
1350. But we're not talking guns or fishing, y'all, okay? So
1,350 feet per second.
Talking grandkids, that's okay.
God forbid us piss off any of our advertisers.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. So... where were we on connectivity?
Today's show is brought to you by Steve Goldfinch, guns, and everything else you want.
No. We want to make sure that we take care of our HOA customers, and those are the ones we're concerned about. Connectivity then is just going with speed.
That's right.
Speed equals data, and data equals the world.
That's right.
Everything you want.
And that's the way it's going to be.
So
Everything connects.
I'm actually going to talk about something on the topic because I lived in Merle's Inlet on a section in a section of Merle's Inlet 4 years ago until my wife and I built this house that was not on your list. Like we didn't have an option for y'all. So I had to spend, and I can't. I've got to be very, very kind here. So I had to spend our time with another company, which was atrocious at that time. Y'all's speed had gone. After, again, I was promoting y'all in my TV show. I knew what y'all were doing, and my father-in-law worked there. And man, it was the best day when they finally came through and started handing out those flyers that y'all were going to come through and do everything. And we made the switch then, and then we moved to the new neighborhood across the inlet. And we were obviously worried about the house at first, house. And then Don comes over, my father-in-law, and says, well, now, we need to find out about where the cable connection, because he, Mr. HTC, of course, he was a trainer. So, but he wanted to know where this was going to be and everything else in the house. And, we were blessed that we were, the neighborhood first was everybody is with HTC in the neighborhood.
And my personal experience, my mother-in-law is in a local assisted living care place, and she's in need of a telephone, and when I went to the management of the assisted living and said, what do we do, how do we do it, and they said, well, HTC is in charge of it, and I just went, phew. Somebody I can talk with, somebody that'll pick up the telephone, and somebody that'll help me figure out this problem. And it was seamless, easy, and done within minutes. And and what a great experience. We actually ported her cell phone telephone number over to the hard line that she can operate easier, and she loves going back to the hard line or landline.
Landline, yeah.
And you just pick up the phone and say hello.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to push any buttons, charge anything, or do anything.
There's a lot of beauty in that.
There's a lot of beauty in that. I still have a Princess phone hanging on the wall of our house.
Yes, sir, we do too.
And my grandchildren just come up and look at it. They take it off the hook. They look at it. They're amazed by it. It's something they show their friends. Isn't that
We
funny?
actually have one with a rotary dial at my father-in-law's house.
Oh,
It
yeah.
still works, believe it or not.
Oh, well, I got one that works. It's actually a hand crank with the microphone and the piece you pick up off of. It's a beautiful piece of oak furniture, and I went ahead and hooked up to the line so that you can use it. It doesn't, of course, dial, but you can pick it up and hear the dial tone, and I'm pretty proud of it. That's probably 120 years old, 100,
At least, I would guess.
20 years old.
Speaking of the home telephone, obviously, that's a dying. I'm not going to use the word dying breed, but
I can't believe people still put it on applications.
They do, and a lot of people still like it for security. Picking up phone call, 911, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, like I mentioned earlier, we almost position ourselves as an internet company these days because you have to. We do sell a cable TV or video product, but once again, we recognize there too that people watch TV differently than they used to.
Oh yeah, everybody
You've
does.
got all your streaming platforms. Of course, we stream ours as well now, but it's our same cable lineup. We just provide it over the internet.
Sure.
But you got all your YouTube TV, your Google TV, Netflix, et cetera, and we're recognizing that, as Alvin mentioned, when he put some of these bulk agreements together, we're straying away from the video just because everybody don't want it. You're going to set up a whole community with a video product, and 40, 50% of them don't even care anything about it.
Yeah, and I was scared to death to get rid of it. But it was almost seamless too. As you guys helped me through that process, I learned how it worked, and it's not as scary. So if you're still on cable and you're worried about that product going away, being able to turn your TV on to channel 15 news or 13 or 10, it's still out there. It's so easy.
And we have that product, and we'd love, we can certainly get it. But it's just but we recognize that things are changing.
Yeah.
As long as you've got connectivity through the internet, then you can pretty much do what you need to do in the connection and telecommunication stuff.
All right. Well, I've got to cut this one short. I've got important things happening.
Hang
sir.
on.
So
I'm
not going anywhere.
I heard Alvin had a couple more things to say. Hang on.
Alvin.
1 second. Yeah, hang on.
Go, Alvin.
Hang on. I got it. Hang on. Give me 1 second. Let me get
Did he
this.
text you something?
Yeah. Hang on.
Are you going to
know what?
sing, Alvin?
Doggone it. Hang on.
Not gonna
Doggone it. Hang on.
Is this your
Hang
singing
on.
debut?
Hang on. This
be.
thing, I cannot believe I just let myself down.
This is a baritone here,
I
too,
just
probably.
let myself down. Oh my God! How you can't? I mean, these are those moments you just can't.
Amazing grace.
You just can't read. Oh, I'm gonna throw my phone. I'm gonna break it. You cannot. You cannot. Oh well. I guess I'm just gonna have to do this then.
If you break it, we can come by and see us. We can get you another.
Yeah.
All right. Why is it not playing?
Sell
Hang
wireless
on.
stuff too.
All right.
It's connected to something. Oh golly, y'all.
Take your time.
No,
sir.
I'm failed. I am like a failure. I'm a complete, this is the biggest embarrassment of all of my career in television or radio or anything.
Chris.
This is it. The biggest failure.
Can you help the failure out? Tell us how people contact you. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So I was going to ask if I could say a little bit about Coastal Asphalt. So
Please.
So I would like to say that I pride myself, just like what Edsel was saying earlier. You know, Ori Telephone is a local company, and so we are too. Coastal Asphalt is a family-owned business. Matt and Sherry Winburn started Coastal Asphalt. This is our 17th year being in business. I've been with the company. This is my 10th year that I've been employed with them. But we are a family-owned business. Same thing. When you call us, you don't get a call center. You get a person sitting at a desk in our office, and then every email that I send out to a customer or an HOA has my personal cell phone on it. You can reach me at any time. Now, granted, we're not talking business at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but I'm available if you reach out to me.
Yep.
And so I pride ourselves in being a local family-owned business. We own all of our own equipment. When I started with the company 10 years ago, I was number 28, and we are in excess of 180 now. Wow. We also own our own asphalt plant that is in Georgetown. We're located in the Bucksport community outside of Conway, is where our actual office is. But
Winburn Street.
Correct,
Winburn
Street.
Road.
Correct.
Not Winburn Road.
That is correct, Winburn Street. But again, I'm proud to be an employee with the company. Matt, when he hired me 10 years ago, he said, you treat this like it's yours. And so having some ownership, so to speak, in it drives me to do better and make sure we do a good job for the customer. A couple of things that we do, so anybody that's listening today and is on a HOA board or that works with a property management company, I teach several classes throughout the year to identifying asphalt defects and things to look out for. We do board member boot camps, things like that. So ask your property management company how they're involved and when some of these classes and things are being taught.
Oh, I heard Alvin stepping in. Keep going. I'm sorry. Alvin jumped on top.
So I encourage you to come, because definitely information is key, and that arms yourself and know how to protect your community.
Sure. And
everybody wants to be proud of their community. And so I want to help assist you and just get a plan together to preserve your roads and curbings and everything else in the community.
How does somebody get in touch with you?
So I'm going to give you the office number first.
Okay.
So the office number is 843-397-7325. My cell phone number.
Is that an HTC number? Do you know?
Yes. That is an HTC number. That 100% is an HTC number.
Boy, that was a setup.
Yeah. And then my cell number, if you want to reach me direct, it would be 843-333-8010. We're at coastalasphalt.com. www.coastalasphalt.com is our website. It lists all of our services as well.
Now, are you going to be at the board member seminar on April 28th at Ori Georgetown Tech?
I will be. So I will do a short presentation there. I think HTC, you guys are too.
I hadn't heard, but yeah, we can see what we can do with that. Yeah,
Sure, you've heard. Of course,
He
you've
said
heard.
we'll be there.
we'll be there.
Okay.
Hang on, though. I did hear Alvin had a response.
I just been jumping in all types of ways today.
How hard I try. Fight before you give the more I want. Baby,
Okay, that's
that's no lie.
Man, that's all I've been. Every time you have spoken, all I've sat here and thought was Barry. I'm like, Barry White's across from me. That's what I was like.
That's a good plan. I got
That's why I
you.
put that down.
That's silky
I gotta
voice.
make sure
I got
that's
you.
not Barry over
Silky
there.
voice.
Sadly, I cannot sing anywhere near his ability. Or
You do have a great voice.
appreciate it.
You
I
have an
appreciate it.
absolute voice for radio. If things don't work out at HTC, which I doubt will happen,
And y'all have
give me a
something.
shout.
And y'all have something in common because English has the face for radio. Yeah.
Oh no.
There's a poster of me, and it says yes, I am absolutely cut out perfect for radio.
Sorry,
It
English.
is. And I can lie, like in TV, when you're fishing on TV, you can't lie because they can obviously see if you have a fish on. But this, I can say, hell, I caught 9 fish yesterday or whatever. and
No fishing.
I may have never left my living.
No fishing.
Hey, my son had so much fun Saturday, and then we're going to let it go because I'm proud of South Carolina because of the bass fishing that we do have here. And we do have one of the most incredible Bass Nation teams in all the country, by the way. So we should all be proud of that.
I am very proud of that.
But Saturday I went to watch the biggest names in bass fishing within an hour and a half of here. And I can't tell you how much fun my son Russ had, and how well he was treated by every single one of them.
Right.
All the way down to G-Man, and I'm not the biggest G-Man fan because I see through the paper. Like, I see what's behind it. But he was really good. But that Stephanie, the woman from Texas that fishes, she was great. But
Right.
we had an awesome time, and there's some good bass fishing on that lake.
There he is.
Alvin, finish us up. Tell me about HTC. How do we get in touch with
Yes,
you? What do we do?
I was going to go.
All right, I'm a board
next.
member. I'm interested in HTC. I'm tired of the global companies never answering the telephone. What do I do next?
All right, so you can reach out basically to myself or my team directly, and I'll give you that number. So it's 843-369-8887.
Is that an HTC number?
That is most definitely an HTC number. But that's a direct line to myself and my team. And, once we get that call, we can talk out the details of what they're trying to accomplish, and, we'll go from there.
Did I hear something early on in this conversation about incentives? Were there is that still happen or no? No, I don't know what I meant by that. I thought there was maybe equipment or something as incentives. So we'll move on. So, all right, what else? Is that all your contact information? You and the team?
That's the team. I mean, I got a couple email addresses if that help.
Absolutely.
We'll get it out there. Yeah, absolutely. They can obviously go to htc.com, right? Yeah.
But we're trying to get them directly to the people who are going to help them with the.
All right. Well, let's give it. Let's do it.
Way. So you can reach out to myself, which is alvin.jones@htcinc.net, or you can reach out to rachel.orr.
Okay.
It's ORR @htcinc.net. Either one of us will be the ones you want to speak with, and we'd be the ones to help get you good bulk services, and I don't think you'd be unhappy with that.
Excellent. Sounds wonderful. Good.
And if you have trouble reaching them, you can also reach out to me if necessary.
I thought he was just throwing you to the curb, Edsel.
I don't know how to do much, but I know people.
How we get in touch with you, brother?
That's Edsel. That's EDSOL.edge@htcinc.net.
Perfect. Got it. All right.
Perfect. Chris, have we missed anything?
So I can give you my email address also.
Yep.
So mine is Chris, CHRISJ, @coastalasphalt.com.
Oh, easy.
Yep.
Almost as long as my email.
Yes, sir.
All right. Last words. Everybody good. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, guys, for real.
Appreciate the opportunity.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys, and thanks for all you do. Chris, thanks for all you do. And I will not even say anything about bass fishing to end this thing up, so I'll be nice. Steve, good job, buddy. You set up some good guests today, buddy.
I tell you what.
And by the way, I got to give you a shout-out because you did a good job helping out the HOA with those fires, and I'm proud of you. I bragged about you to quite a few people, so just so you know.
I'm so proud of everybody there.
All right, y'all, listen, HOA Live, if you want to talk about it, the good, bad, and ugly, it's all going to be right here on HOA Live, the podcast. Woo!
Can't park that car on the road. Better keep your kids out our yards. And the HOA and the covenants running things round here. Don't touch the grass with your tires. Get that boat out of here. You leave that trash can too long. It's gonna cost you dear, no matter where you call home. Be a condo.
HOA Life is a product of HOA Life LLC. Any attempt to copy or to reproduce any of our content is illegal, and it will be dealt with our very accurate and highly trained firing squad. The thoughts and opinions shared on HOA Life are that of our guests and are not the thoughts and ideas of HOA Life LLC.